Welcome back to the deep dive. We are plunging headfirst once again into, well, a familiar and frankly, intensely personal online conflict that just keeps unfolding.
It really does. And thanks again to Crafton for the source material. This time, we're focusing on a speaker named Nikki.
Right. And it's pretty compelling, isn't it, how many different voices seem to just orbit around this one person, Natasha Cooper. We've looked at a few, but this one, Nikki, feels different.
Oh, absolutely. What's really striking here is that Nikki's stream is, well, it's uncensored, it's chaotic, and it is just brimming with some extreme emotion.
So our mission today really is to unpack Nikki's unique perspective, which sounds maybe deeply neurotic.
That's a fair assessment based on the material, yeah. We need to pinpoint her self-contradictions, which are pretty blatant, and crucially, the gravity of her threats against Natasha Cooper. They get increasingly severe and frankly seem potentially illegal.
Okay. So listeners should get ready to understand just how intense and maybe how unhinged Nikki appears to be, perhaps more so than others we've covered.
I think that's safe to say, yeah. It really starts almost immediately with this palpable disgust, this rage directed at Natasha Cooper.
For restreaming her image and audio, right, that seems to be the initial spark.
Exactly. She says, and this is a direct quote, "If Natasha Cooper restreams me, I'm going through every one of your fucking videos. Every single one that shows my image unedited, and I'm going to at least try to strike every fucking one of them."
Wow, every fucking one. She's talking about privacy strikes and copyright claims here, trying to get the videos taken down.
That's the aim, silencing her, essentially. And she insists she's prepared. She claims, "I've already got the every fucking URL where she's shown my image. I'll fucking privacy strike. I will file privacy claims on every goddamn one of them."
And she's going to spend hours doing this. She claims she has all the URLs already. That's immediate, full-blown digital warfare, isn't it? Over showing her image.
It escalates incredibly fast. And then almost immediately, you see this striking double standard emerge in her outrage. Well, Nikki compares her own actions. She mentions calling someone named Amy's stepfather, which she admits caused pandemonium. She compares that to what Natasha did, which was having someone named Robbie's parents on her panel.
Okay, so she's justifying her own pandemonium causing actions, but condemning Natasha for something involving family members.
Precisely. She calls Natasha pig coops for, quote, fucking with an entire family. And then she demands, where the fuck is the outrage for that?
Implying her own actions weren't as bad or didn't deserve the same level of outrage, even though she admits it caused chaos. That's convenient logic.
It's very self-serving. And this leads us straight into maybe her biggest self-contradiction, which is all about family.
Ah, okay. Tell me about that.
Well, on one hand, she expresses absolute disgust with Robbie's mother for appearing on Natasha's channel. She says, "I'm disgusted by her," just flat out.
Okay.
But then, almost in the same breath, she fiercely defends Robbie's absolute right to talk about his, quote, abusive parents on social media.
Wait, so she's disgusted by the parents participating, but Robbie can say whatever he wants about them online because they're his parents.
Exactly. She's incredibly direct. She says, "I don't give a fuck what Robbie said about his mother, that is his family, and it'll be a cold day in hell before any fuck in this community tell me what I can say about my family, and what I can't say, that is Robbie's family."
So total autonomy for Robbie and herself regarding their families, but condemnation for the parents engaging in the same public space.
Right. She offers no sympathy for the parents. Her argument is, well, they found their fucking way to Natasha Cooper's panel, so they could have just confronted Robbie directly if they wanted to.
That is a very selective application of principles, isn't it? Wow.
It really is. And, you know, this kind of selective morality, it just weaves itself into her whole campaign against Natasha. She doesn't just disagree with her. She paints her as this, like, fundamentally malicious figure.
How does she describe her?
She calls Natasha a fucking opportunist, says she's driven by money and revenge, and labels her as sadist.
A sadist? That's moving beyond disagreement into complete character assassination, dehumanizing her.
Absolutely. And she builds this narrative, alleging Natasha exploited Robbie's senior aged parents by faking a, quote, Southern fucking belle persona, all supposedly for financial gain.
So pure manipulation in Nikki's eyes.
Okay.
But then the threats themselves, they escalate pretty dramatically from just privacy strikes.
Oh, dramatically. This is where it gets potentially very serious. Nikki declares, "I am coming for you and your whole fucking family." She proclaims she's the dirtiest of the dirty.
She sounds almost proud of that, like it's a weapon.
It seems that way. She even says she's willing to go down in a blaze of glory, doesn't care if her own channel gets terminated. She says it would be worth it just to expose Natasha.
That's a chilling level of commitment. Like, self-destruction is fine if it takes the enemy down, too.
Exactly. And then the threats take an incredibly personal and, frankly, deeply concerning turn.
This is the part about the diary.
Yes. Nikki explicitly threatens to expose what she claims are diary pages written by Natasha's child, Mariah.
Oh, wow, okay.
She alleges these pages reveal, and I quote, the fucking abuse that she suffered from the hands of Natasha Cooper, Hannah, and Dalton. And she promises to make this dirty, filthy truth public on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere.
Weaponizing a child's alleged trauma, true or not, that's crossing a massive line, moving way beyond online drama into something else entirely, something potentially criminal even.
It certainly feels that way. And the serious allegations don't stop there. She claims she has a video.
Okay.
Where Natasha and someone named Tiffany are discussing another person, a Mrs. Portland, saying she has intellectual disabilities.
All right. Where's she going with this?
Nikki then accuses Natasha, quite shockingly, of having abused and sexually exploited Mrs. Portland by showing photos of her, knowing she was, quote, a vulnerable individual.
Okay, hold on. That's not just an insult. That's a direct accusation of abuse and exploitation of a vulnerable person that carries huge real-world weight.
Immense weight. And then there's another one, just as serious, leveled directly at Natasha involving her own daughter.
Wait now.
Nikki claims Natasha used her minor daughter, Hannah, who was apparently 16 back in 2017, for an income tax scam.
An income tax scam? How?
She alleges Natasha deposited money into Hannah's bank account and that this resulted in Hannah being interviewed by the police.
Again, these are incredibly specific, serious accusations of illegal activity involving a minor. Directly from Nikki, it's quite something.
It is. And the intensity of these accusations, when you place them alongside her general demeanor on the stream, it really emphasizes those neurotic tendencies you mentioned earlier.
Right, because she actually admits she's disorganized, doesn't she?
She does. She openly says, I'm a goddamn mess.
Yeah.
She tells this story about missing a dentist appointment because she had a therapy appointment scheduled for the exact same time.
And she says she needs a social media assistant to handle her life. It's such a strange contrast, isn't it? This self-professed chaos right alongside these incredibly serious targeted threats.
It's jarring. And speaking of jarring shifts, let's talk about the cat interlude.
Ah, yes, the cat. Right in the middle of all this fury and these heavy accusations.
It's just classic Nikki, based on this source. A perfect example of her erratic stream of consciousness. She just launches into this long, really emotional tangent about her cats, Tippy and Chewy, and how they're settling into her new place.
I remember reading that. Details about Tippy quacking instead of meowing.
Yeah. And how Coco is fearless. It goes on for quite a bit. And it's such a stark thematic shift, you know, from these heavy, potentially illegal threats straight into these, like, tender personal anecdotes about her pets.
It really gives you a window into maybe how scattered her thoughts are, almost disorienting for the listener.
Completely. But then, just as suddenly, she snaps right back into the conflict.
Right, with the parenting comparison.
Exactly. A highly personal, very self-aggrandizing comparison of her parenting skills versus Natasha's and also versus Robbie's parents.
She claims she raised incredible children, 6 biological, 3 fostered.
Yes. And says she would never, ever do what Robbie's parents did by going on Natasha's panel. She dramatically claims she'd blow you, Natasha, out of the fucking water as a mother.
So using her own parenting as proof of her moral superiority, basically, despite everything else she's saying and doing.
It seems to be a way to anchor herself, yeah, to claim the high ground amidst the chaos. And her volatility isn't just aimed at Natasha either. She goes after others, too.
Who else gets targeted?
She specifically calls out a Wendy V and a Jax. She labels them cowards and hypocrites.
Why? For not siding with her.
Apparently. Either for not aligning with her views, or maybe for engaging with Natasha in some way she disapproves of. She actually challenges Jax to join her stream live.
What does she say?
She says she wants Jax on so she can drag the fuck out of you to your face.
Wow. Okay, so direct confrontation, demanding loyalty. Anyone not with her is against her, essentially.
That's definitely the vibe. And all this rage, the threats, the accusations, the personal attacks, it culminates in what she calls her grand plan.
The website.
The Dirt website, yeah. This sounds like a calculated, although incredibly extreme strategy to just weaponize information.
How calculated? What are the details?
She talks about creating a $10,000 website getting a $10,000 domain name, which sounds maybe inflated, but signals intent specifically to host all the fucking dirt on Natasha.
$10,000 just for a website to attack someone. And she's asking for contributions.
She puts out an open call, asking people to send her filthy fucking information. She lists things like links, videos, Natasha's entire history on social media, criminal records.
And the diary pages again?
And Mariah's alleged diary pages, yes. It's presented as this blueprint for a sustained, very public, potentially devastating campaign. It shows a shocking level of premeditation, even with her admitting she's a mess.
It really is an all or nothing kind of approach, isn't it?
She basically says that, reiterates that if Natasha involves families, like with Robbie's parents, then Nikki will make her own family contacts available. She's willing to escalate to the most extreme personal levels, throwing all privacy out the window.
And she's not backing down on the other threats either, the legal stuff.
No, she ends by reaffirming her resolve. She's going to keep trying to privacy strike Natasha's content, she's pursuing legal action, and she makes a point of saying she can afford lawyers.
So, absolutely doubling down. No retreat.
None whatsoever. This whole stream, this deep dive into Nikki, just reveals such a complex, really volatile, and deeply, deeply personal conflict.
Yeah, the contradictions are staggering. Defending family autonomy for one person while condemning parents for participating. The wild shifts between these serious, almost legalistic threats, and then talking about her cats.
It's a raw, completely unfiltered look at someone seemingly pushed to the edge, fueled by these perceived grievances.
Yeah.
You see the anger, the alleged plans for revenge, the self-justification, the chaos. It's all there.
Absolutely. So as we wrap this up, maybe the provocative thought for you, our listeners, is this. What does Nikki's extreme behavior really tell us? Her willingness to launch such personal attacks, to contradict herself so openly, to make these threats that sound potentially illegal, like exposing a child's alleged diary. What does it say about the boundaries, or maybe the total lack of boundaries in some of these online feuds?
Yeah, what drives someone to these lengths? His level of personal exposure, accusation, this kind of scorched earth approach. And what does it really mean when online conflict bleeds so intensely into this quest for what they see as real-world justice, no matter the cost?
Definitely something to think about. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.